Hi everyone, Lu here. I have completed EFOY, so I thought I would give you a really quick 1st of July 2026 property market update before I head out again. But I want to focus specifically on Southeast Queensland because while the national headlines are saying that the property market is slowing, the story here in Southeast Queensland is a little different. According to the latest Totality Home Value Index, which dropped into my email box this morning, national property values have dropped by 0.4% in June. Sydney fell by 1.2% and Melbourne by 1%. But Brisbane, we still recorded a 0.3% growth. Now, this growth is definitely slower than what we have seen over the last few years, but it is still growth. And to me, that shows that Southeast Queensland is not moving in the same direction that Sydney and Melbourne are. We are not seeing the same level of decline that they have in those cities. What we are seeing is a market that is cooling down from really strong conditions of the past to something that is a little bit more balanced and more sustainable. But the part that I want investors to really pay attention to is the rental market, because nationally, rents had increased by 5.9% over the financial year. However, in Brisbane, it's between 6 and 7%. The rental vacancy is still really tight. Nationally, it sits at 1.6, but in Brisbane, we are seeing 0.8. Let me put this into perspective. A healthy rental market sits between 2.6 and 3.5%. So even though the sales market is slowing, rents are still increasing. And this is where I think a lot of people misunderstand the market. Rents don't rise simply because investors have high mortgage repayments. They rise because demand exceeds supply. If there were plenty of vacant rental properties, landlords won't be able to pass on those high costs regardless. So the fact that the rents are still increasing tells us one very important thing. There is still a genuine shortage of rental accommodation. Here in Southeast Queensland, we are still seeing strong demand for quality rental homes. People still moving in to this region for lifestyle, for work, for affordability compared to Sydney and Melbourne, and therefore seeing long-term opportunity for renters as well as investors. At the same time, the housing supply still hasn't been able to keep up. Construction costs are still high. The projects that are in the pipeline are still taking a length of time, even though it is improving. And with people's reduced borrowing capacity, they are staying in the rental market longer. So we have more people needing rental accommodation, but not enough homes available. And that is why rents continue to rise. For investors, my view is that this is still a very strong long-term market here in SEQ. Capital growth may not be as aggressive as it was during the boom years, but Southeast Queensland is still supported by strong population growth, low vacancy rates, and ongoing rental demand. This is also the type of market where good property management really matters. When the market is changing, you need accurate pricing, strong tenant selection, proper compliance, good communication, and proactive maintenance. It is not just about getting a tenant into your property. It is about protecting the investment, supporting the tenancy properly, and making sure that the property continues to perform over time. So my message to investors is this: do not panic when you see national headlines about the market slowing. Look at your local market, look at the vacancy rates, look at the rental demand, look at the quality of your property, and make your decisions based on evidence rather than fear. And if you own an investment property in Southeast Queensland and you would like to know how your property is performing in this current market, reach out to me. My number is 0425 225678. I'm only too happy to help you review your rent, your compliance, your lease strategy, and your long-term investment position. My name is Lu Bracher from Real Estate HQ. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a lovely day, everyone.